These are the Algebra 1, Unit 5a, Module 3, Formulas and Function Notation Notes. Today we're going to write a formula for f of a in terms of a, and I've noticed already in Problem 1 I miswrote the formula here, so I'm going to cross off this formula and have you copied on the formula that you see right here. This will be the formula we're using in number 1. All of your problems tonight are just going to start with kind of a sentence like this. For a given input value a, so a is sort of like our input, a function f outputs a value b. So we're going to have an output value, which is b, to satisfy the following equation. Our equation is going to be 3a plus 8b equals 7a minus 4b. We're supposed to write a formula for f of a in terms of a. Okay, what does that mean? It means a couple things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our output values, whatever our output value is, if it's b, we're going to move all of the b's to the left side of the equation. So we're going to move all output to the left side. Anything that's an input value or anything that's not an output value, so if it says an input value a, we're going to move everything else, including the input values, to the right. Our goal here is we're going to try to solve for b. We're going to try to get an equation that looks something like this. B equals stuff. And there's going to be an a somewhere in this equation we have. So let's take a look at this problem. Our goal is we want to get outputs to the left. Our output is b. So we're going to move all the b values to the left. We can do that by adding 4b to both sides. And that's going to give us the equation 3a plus, now you can add the b's together. 8b and 12 and 4b are like terms, so you can add those together and get 12b. On the right side we have 7a, because the 4b's cancel, they're opposites. Now once we move all the outputs to the left, that's our b value, we're going to move everything else to the right. So if it's not a b, it's moving. So we're going to get this 3a out of here by subtracting it from both sides. When you do that, they cancel out on the left side. You get 12b on the left, and you get 7a minus 3a. That's 4a on the right. Our goal is to have an equation that says b equals something about a. Now this has 12b, so I don't want to say 12b. I just want to say b. So we're going to divide out that 12. 12's cancel, and you get b equals. Now if you write 4a over 12, that's okay. But you probably notice that you can divide out a 4 from the top and bottom. If you divide out a 4 on the top, it goes away. That's just a. And if you divide out a 4 on the bottom, you get 3. Now there's one more step we're going to do here. The problem says write a formula for f of a in terms of a. It doesn't say write a formula for b in terms of a. It just says write a formula for f of a in terms of a. So what is f of a? F of a is another word for your output. So we're going to replace our original output value, which was b, with f of a. So our final equation is going to look like this. Replace the b with f of a, and it's equal to a over 3. Now that may have been a little confusing, so we'll try a couple more and make sure you get the hang of what's going on here. For a given input value x, the function f outputs a value y to satisfy the following equation. Y plus 5 equals 4, parentheses x minus 3. Write a formula for f of x in terms of x. Our first goal is we're going to move all our output values to the left. Our output values this time are y. So we're going to make sure the y is on the left side, which it is. Great. Move everything else to the right. We don't want this 5 here, so we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a y equals, 5's cancel, 4 parentheses x minus 3 minus 5. So we moved everything else to the right. We have our output value on the left. That's good. Our goal is to have an equation where the output's value is on the left, which we have. Now we can simplify this a little bit by multiplying the 4 through by distributing. So you could go y equals 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. There's a negative, so it's 4 times negative 3, which is negative 12. minus the 5. And if you're at negative 12 and you subtract 5, we're going 5 even smaller than negative 12, and that's going to take you down to negative 17. So we moved all our outputs to the left. That's our y variable. It was on the left, so that made it easy. Everything else moved right. Our goal is to get an equation, which we have here. And then we're going to replace our output value. This is your output value, f of x in this problem. So we're going to replace the original output value, y, with f of x. You get f of x equals 4x minus 17. Okay, that's pretty doable. Let's try out a couple more. For a given input value t, the function h outputs a value s to satisfy the following equation: 8s plus 3t equals 48. Write a formula for h of t in terms of t. Our output value, that goes on the left. Everything else, including our input values, are going to go on the right. So in this problem, s is our output value. We're going to leave the 8s there, but we don't want that 3t here, so we will get rid of it. It says plus 3t. To cancel it, we subtract 3t from both sides. They'll cancel here, and you get 8s equals 48 minus 3t. Now you could also write this as negative 3t plus 48. Either way is okay. Our goal is we want to get rid of anything else other than this output value here, so we do want to get rid of the 8. To do that, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 8. But be careful, because here's something a lot of kids mess up. 8 over 8 is 1. Those essentially cancel, and you get s. That's not the problem. You're going to need to divide each of these terms in the numerator by 8. So the 48 is going to get divided by 8. 48 divided by 8 is 6. And then the negative 3t also gets divided by 8. Both terms, both things we're adding or subtracting, get divided by this 8. So you can write your answer as minus 3/8 t. A lot of people forget to subtract this, so a lot of people write this for the wrong answer. They would write s equals 6 minus 3t. So when you divide everything through by 8, yeah, you're dividing the 48, but you're also dividing this term as well. So don't do that. Bad stuff. We have our output value on the left side. That's good. We're supposed to write a formula for h of t. This is your output, so we're going to replace our output value s with this symbol, h of t. And you get 6 minus 3/8 t. All right, let's try the last one out here. For a given input value r, function g outputs a value q to satisfy the following equation. Q minus 12 equals 2 parentheses r plus 3. Write a formula for g of r in terms of r. Here's your output value, q. Q's go to the left, which it's already on the left side. Nice. Everything else, including output values, are going to be on the right. So r is already on the right side. That's great. Let's get this 12 out of here. Add 12 to both sides. So we have some work to do here on the right side of the equation. Obviously, our negative 12 and 12 will cancel. So we have a q on the left side. On the right side, we have 2 parentheses r plus 3 plus this 12. And just like we had in problem number 2, we're going to distribute the value in front of the parentheses times both things inside the parentheses. What this will give us is q equals 2 times r, 2 times positive 3, which is positive 6, and a plus 12. You can add the 6 and the 12 together. They're like terms, so you get q equals 2r plus 18. And you remember there's one more step you have to do. That's right. This is your output value right here. We're going to replace our old output value q with our new output value g of r. So we're going to replace the q with a g of r. That equals 2r plus 18. So in this lesson, what we've learned to do is we have taken a formula that has a couple variables in it, and we've rewritten the formula for f of a in terms of a.